Hi, welcome to another episode of 6'5 Guys. I'm Ed Mobley.
And I'm Steve Lawrence. So Ed, you do a lot of reloading and are always looking for efficiencies in how you do this process. You've come up with some kind of interesting innovations or things to speed things up. I was wondering if we could use this time to actually share with the guys what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, so it was the resizing process was really backing me up. And it was taking me on average 45 to 50 minutes to resize 100 cases. And it was just simply too slow. And I was using Imperial Dye Wax, which is a really good product. But I had to speed it up, and in the past I had tried various spray lubes with varying degrees of success. When they worked, they were very fast, but you'd occasionally get a stuck case, which was a bit of a showstopper, and that's certainly
one-shot case lube. Now I use this for some of my reloading.
Right.
I also use the Imperial Dye Wax, and good product, but for some of the stuff that we're doing, precision reloading. This may not be the best stuff. Like you said, I've had a few stuck cases before.
Yeah, and I also wanted consistency too. So if there's a possibility of getting a stuck case, that tells me that the resizing process is not going to be very consistent. And I measure this stuff. I mean, I want my resized cases to be within a thousandths of one another. And so I saw on the internet a lot of folks were making lanolin-based lubes. And I knew about that for a while, but I really didn't do it because I figured, well, if people I know aren't doing it, it's probably not that good. But I was just getting so frustrated with how long it was taking me to resize, I figured, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. So what I did is I
purchased these products.
Yeah, I purchased these products in Amazon.
Why don't we take a look and see what we have here? So Ed, maybe you can walk us through exactly what we have here that goes into this.
Yeah, so the first ingredient is liquid lanolin. And again, you want to get liquid lanolin. You don't want to get a lanolin paste. And this just so happened to be the least expensive brand of liquid lanolin on Amazon. And when I looked at the comments, I'm not the only one who's purchasing this, for reloading purposes.
Okay.
The other ingredient is 99% isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
Again, some folks have said they've used 91% or 70%. Again, you're introducing a lot of water into the mix. So my suggestion is, stick with the 99%. Now, you're not going to be able to purchase this locally. You're going to have to mail order it. Another substitute that folks have used is ISO heat, which you can get at an auto parts store, which is a fuel line water remover. But it has other ingredients besides isopropyl alcohol, which I don't know what they are, and I just don't want to introduce them into my
Now, for the folks that may have isopropyl alcohol, it may not be 99%. This is the stuff you buy at the drugstore.
Yeah,
why couldn't they use that?
Well, because the 70% alcohol is 30% water.
Okay. And
you just, from what I've seen and heard, it doesn't mix well.
Okay.
And then of course you've got the spray bottle, and these are the spray bottles made by Chemical Guys. Again, no affiliation with 6'5 Guys. It's not one of our subsidiaries.
Okay.
But they're $3 for $10, and it's a nice high quality sprayer that atomizes the product really, really well.
Okay. So I guess at this point we're going to cut to a little bit of video, and you'll walk us through kind of your old process and what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is how I have currently resized cases using Imperial Dye Wax. I've used Imperial Dye Wax now for a number of years, and to speed up that process, I would use a lube pad, put a little on my fingers like that, roll it, but I still needed to get some lube on
the necks.
Onto the necks. And then I had to get some inside of the necks. Now, while this worked very well. As you can tell, it was really, really slow.
To do 100 cases, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it was taking me
Yeah.
45, 50 minutes to get through 100 cases.
Yeah. Similar to my process, but I normally do them one by one with Imperial dye wax.
Well, the thing I noticed in doing them one by one is sometimes you would get varying amounts on the shoulder, and that would actually impact the amount of shoulder setback.
Okay.
So go into the case, go into the case bed,
Right.
help make it more consistent.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. You've got the spray bottle. You're spraying the brass. This is to apply the lube onto your cases.
Correct. And what I do is I shake them to get about a third of the case necks facing up, so that some of the spray gets into the case neck.
Okay.
And then I just knead them with my fingers. See, again, I'm exposing the case necks right there and,
Right.
and spraying it. And I do that 3 times with 2 sprays each. And then I let it sit. And if it's right now, it's kind of cold in my basement, so I'll let it sit for about 5 minutes so all the alcohol flashes off. But if it's hotter in the summer, it would dry a lot quicker. But
Right. Yep. So once they're fully coated, do you wait for the alcohol to evaporate? At what point do you actually start running them through the?
after I wait, 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
And you can feel it too. You can feel when the alcohol's flashing off, they get cold, and so you just wait until the alcohol stops flashing off, and then you just start resizing. And as you can see here, I'm able to resize the cases as fast as I could decap the cases, which is just really exciting. And I can't convey this in the video, but just the feeling of consistency as you run them through the press.
And so you really didn't feel any appreciable difference between this and what you were doing with your Imperial dye wax method.
Correct. I mean, the thing that I noticed about this is just the consistency, especially when you're pulling the expander through the case neck, is much more consistent with this process than it was with the Imperial dye wax. And then when I measured the cases, I mean, they're all within 1/1000ths, which is the highest degree of consistency that I've ever been able to achieve.
Okay.
Because one thing that frustrated me is you'd start off a batch, and then by the time you ended, the shoulder setback would increase because of the increase in lube on the shoulder, etc. This very, very consistent.
Yeah. You've got your cases here that you resized. Can you maybe show us? Did any of the lube stay on? How does it feel now?
Yeah, I mean, I did these yesterday, and again, it's just a very, very thin coat. I mean, they really don't feel any different than before I resized them, which is nice. If you want to do multiple operations, you can. And then you just look at the bottom of this container here. You can see it's very, 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 very thin. So it's just enough, I mean, to get the job done. But because of the consistency of the application of the lube, and the fact that it doesn't dry out, it's a very versatile approach. And these, of course, are 308 because somebody had mentioned to me, try it on 308 because they tend to be more difficult to resize than the 6.5x47. So I did, and these resize just as easily as a 6.5x47. Okay. So I'm very happy with this.
So Ed, can you again summarize for us how you mix these, what the cost of the components are, so the guys that are interested in doing this, they can actually put this together?
Yeah, mixing it is really simple. Again, a 1:10 ratio of lanolin to alcohol. So in this case, I took 1 ounce of the liquid lanolin, and I mixed it with 10 ounces of the alcohol. You could probably go to an even higher ratio because, as you can see when I shake it up here, there's a little bit that settles, which tells me this is super saturated.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, you could probably go to a 1:12 ratio. But I can tell you a 1:10 works.
Okay.
It
and
works.
Cost? What's the all-in cost for this?
Yeah, cost. So from Amazon, this is roughly $8. And again, this is going to last you forever. I mean, this is 4 ounces here. This is $6. And then these spray bottles are 3 for $9.
Okay. Awesome. Well, guys, there you have it. If you're interested in going this method, we think there's a lot of value and you'll save a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, I'm sold. I'm not going back to my previous methods. I can tell you that
Awesome.
much.
Good. And I'd actually like to try this out myself.
Well, that's why I got 3 bottles. So I'm
Excellent.
gonna mix them up for you, and we'll see how you like it as well. I think you'll be very happy with it.
Great deal. All right. Remember, guys, life's an adventure.
Stay on target.